All right. And the final topic, because this is kind of recent news that we need to talk about. Crystal Mountain in Washington is now going to start capping lift ticket sales because of overcrowding on the weekend, which Washington did not have a really stellar start to their season, and then they just got bombarded. So of course everyone's flocking up to the mountains, and Crystal, just the road up and in, it's just too tight and stuff, and they weren't. I just they were a little ill prepared for this type of an opening.
Yeah.
So they've announced that they're going to start capping ticket sales online, and they're closing their ticket windows to walk up on weekends. So season pass holders will be able to get up there, but if you don't pre-book online for your ticket, you won't be able to
get one.
Yeah, and it's a lot of it has to do with finding parking spaces and stuff. And I get it. They're going to invest in their infrastructure for next year for more parking and whatnot. But I think a lot of it's just a series of events that compounded. And I've seen people being like, "Well, Icon is ruining this," and it's like, it's not the Icon Pass that's ruining it. It's the fact that you have all of Seattle trying to get to the mountains, and you have an area with people that are affluent. They have the expendable income, and people are moving there, so they're going there. This isn't really anything new. Powder Mountain's done this, and it does save the snow. Like Powder Mountain caps their tickets, and I've never been there when it's sold out. I've had friends that were, and they're like, "Oh my god, it's busy," and from what I've heard, it's not. I mean, I think max
I
they're
can't
saying
imagine.
it was like 25 or 2,700 people on the whole mountain, which is nothing. But
Yeah, because
I think capping ticket sales would be a smart thing. Like you should also cap season pass sales. So like when they go on sale, you shouldn't have oh, you got 30 more days and the price goes up. Oh, you got 60 more days and the price goes up. Oh, you got 100 more days and the price goes up. I think it should be like they go on sale, and anyone that has owned one, if they can put the deposit down, they're pretty much grandfathered in. And then you have X number that you sell, and you should cap it, because a lot of places that are especially high destination areas, they can't handle the influx. Like we've seen it here in Summit County so many times where it just goes full shit show. Like last year during the snow sculptures, when people were parking 3 wide on Main Street and just abandoning their cars, and it makes sense. I don't know. What do you think about this?
Certain situations, I think it absolutely makes sense, and I support it, because realistically, at the end of the day, the resort does not have to sell you a ticket. They don't have to. So if the resort is selling enough tickets and operating in a way that is financially viable to them, then they don't have to do anything for you. And if you want to be guaranteed to be able to go, then get a season pass. So capping day tickets, I don't have a problem with at all. That's something that makes sense in a lot of ways to me. Now, when you start talking about places like here, I think it does get a little more complicated, because especially when you start talking about Epic Pass that works in works here in Colorado, it works in Utah, it works in the Midwest, it works on the East Coast, it works in Canada, it works on the West Coast. How do you cap pass sales at that point? That's a little harder, because
there actually technically is a cap for Breckenridge, and they go over it. They just pay the fine to the town,
right?
And that's what it is. But it makes sense to an extent, because I mean, I've seen resorts here where it's an hour, a 2-hour lift line. That's fucking obscene. That's just miserable. It's not worth your time.
No.
I mean, before A Basin left the Epic, I mean, I can remember preseasons. If you weren't there for first chair and done in the first hour, you were spending the whole day standing in line for 3 laps, and it's obscene. I can remember riding MLK weekend at Breck and getting cornered at 1 chairlift just because I made the wrong mistake at the wrong time of the day, and it wasn't even that long, but it was still 45 minutes to get to the top. 45 fucking minutes. That's an obscene amount of time to stand, get on the chair, sit, wait, get to the top. It ruins everything for everyone. I know there's going to be people out there that are like, no, they shouldn't cap this. And I'm like, should they though? Like, there's only so much capacity a place can take. It's like going to your favorite bar and they've hit occupancy with your favorite bands playing in there, and it's wall to wall, and they're letting one in, one out. You know?
Yep.
It's still the same, but this is the statement that I think will catch a lot of people's eyes, and this starts January 18th. For weekends and holidays. We will discontinue selling walk-up full-day tickets at the ticket booths on weekends and holidays in order to hold skier visits to what our roads and parking infrastructure is designed to handle. We will monitor this closely and make adjustments as we continue to learn how this will impact our guests and the mountain. On weekends and holidays, we will continue to honor all Icon Pass holders, purchasers of any advanced ticket products such as a 5-pack voucher, advanced single-day tickets, and other such products. We will offer a finite amount of advanced tickets online for weekends and holidays, but we will limit the available quantities of these day tickets based on a consideration of variables such as the snow forecast, mountain conditions, traffic, road conditions, and any other factors that contribute to people making their decision to ski on that day. And that makes sense. I mean, obviously if it's a weekend and fucking it hasn't snowed in 3 weeks, they're probably not even going to cap it. They're just going to be like, yeah, come on up.
Yeah.
They're going to take whoever they can. But suddenly it started snowing on Wednesday and it's not going to let up till Sunday and they've gotten 3 feet. Yeah, they're going to cap it. And I mean, what I think this will do is it'll push people to buy more season passes because they're obviously not capping those people from going. But it makes sense. And obviously they're going to expand in there, but it sparked a debate, and people are like, I've seen people be like, I'm only going to go to a Vail Resorts now, and I'm like, oh, you think it's any better over there? It's not.
No.
Like, you really want to get off of it. I think the best thing you could do would be buy the Indy Pass and just travel. But it's a double-edged sword, and if you live in an area like we do, where you see all the people coming and what traffic can do and congestion and how things are. I mean, we just got through Christmas and New Year's, and this year I feel like it was more mellow than in years past.
I feel like this has been one of the mellowest holiday seasons we've had in a long time.
And they're still saying we set new records, and I'm like, holy shit, because it just feels like they were spread out more. And I don't feel like you were fighting as much for everything, And I also feel like the grocery stores weren't pillaged as bad as they usually are.
Yeah, that definitely. Either all our infrastructure was just operating better, or people were operating it better, or it just wasn't as gnarly.
Yeah.
Too. I don't know really which, but yeah, it didn't feel like end of days like it has in the past couple of years.
No, you're not literally fighting over a loaf of bread at the grocery store and not knowing, or having to ask someone at the grocery store, hey, can you go in the back and check on this, or did the truck didn't make it, so the grocery store is picked clean. And the other thing was parking. Like, I noticed that there isn't any more parking spaces available here in town. There's like we have a finite amount, but there was more available spaces, and living downtown I can see that, and it just felt like I was like, oh, it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon and there's like 45 parking spaces on the street. That's obscene. Like, that's not normal. And I get it, especially these resorts that only have one road in or out, and it's one lane each way. The canyons out in Utah, like they're having this issue too. And someone mentioned in one of the comments today on the top 5 video I put up that they were like, yeah, I know, like the mountains weren't crowded. It was just like forgetting 7 feet of snow, which is really obscene because you would have figured that they would have been.
Yeah.
They're like, I didn't have a problem getting up there, and I did this, but I've had other people be like, oh, it's bumper to bumper, and it took me 2 hours to get here, and Brighton's charging for parking, and Solitude's charging for parking, and I got to take the bus from the bottom of the canyon and stuff, and that's like, hey man, you live in an area where you get snow and people are moving to it. Your economy's good. It's just a natural of it. I mean, like Denver, for so long, we had 100,000 people a month moving to Denver. I think that number has dropped. I think it's like around 50 to 65,000 a month still moving there. But that's still a ton of people moving. And oh, well, I bought the Epic Pass, and it's like, what are they going to do? Because people in Denver, we live in the mountains, and just take that 70 traffic right up here.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch it and you see how it happens. I think, though, if more resorts would cap lift tickets, I think people's overall experience would be better. I also think that they would sell the exact number of lift tickets they need to be a fully sustainable business too.
Right.
And I think they might also sell more lift or season passes as well.
Mm-hmm. And that seems to be such a driving force. Like, there's so many. Like, I know that's one of the big things for Vail is they just keep saying we want more season passes instead of day tickets. That's their, for some reason, that's I don't understand.
Well, I mean, if they're charging
behind it, but
I think it's because if they buy a season pass, they're more likely to come on a 5-day vacation, stay at a Vail resort, eat at Vail restaurants, eat on the hill. They're making more money off the ancillary stuff than that, which makes sense. But I mean, if you look at like someone like me, I mean, there was a year. I think it was the year the Epic was $589. I calculated that I paid less than $1 a day to snowboard because of how many days I got on it. And I was like, and I don't need any of their stuff. I was like, they literally made no money on me. But then I'd run into like families and they'd be like, oh yeah, we all bought Epic passes. We're here for 6 days exactly because it was cheaper than the walk-up ticket price.
Right.
And they're like, we saved money. And that'll be the 6 days that family will ride. It makes sense.
Yeah.
By and large. Anyways, we're going to wind down this podcast. That was pretty much the last topic. It's 2020. It's a new year. We'd like to thank our sponsor, Rosnell Snowboards, for allowing this to happen. You guys crush it by just pretty much telling us we can do whatever the fuck we want. So if you're looking for skis and you want to support a snowboard company that's really good at selling skis, check out Rosnell Snowboards. Also, what do we got coming up in the future here, Kevin? Anything?
Well, Snow Show is coming up, so all that kind of stuff is going to start popping up here. Like we started talking at the very beginning of this podcast, that info is going to start getting on the internet. It's already out there for a little bit for a few brands here and there and sneak peeks and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of the next big thing is us starting to get 21 product and starting to see what's going on for next year's stuff.
Yeah, and we'll be getting ready to do reviews. I mean, we did I dropped 117 reviews in August. So we'll see where we end up. I think without Goodwood this year, I'll be doing a bit more reviews. I've already got companies reaching out to us. You'll see a few more 2020 reviews dropping. I've got a few of those. I've got actually just picked up a Nidecker Tracer Goofy, so we can ride that carving board as well as one of the new Will snowboards. So get out and ride that stuff.
I still got the WoW review coming, the Nidecker Odyssey women's kind of POW deck coming, so we still got some more stuff coming.
Yeah, I don't know if I want you to review that because it's a women's board. I don't know. We'll see. But either way, I think a small dude could ride that. That's really a unisex board.
Yeah, it is.
Yes, we got that. We're still figuring out Can Kevin carve it. There's going to be an overhaul on Angrysnowboarder VIP as we go into phase 2. And I can't wait to just actually tell all of you guys on YouTube, and I'll mention it probably more in the next podcast as well for any listeners out there, like what we're going to do. But yeah, if you're listening to this on Podbean, subscribe, click like on that. If you're watching this on YouTube, like, subscribe, share, do what you got to do. Remember to click the bell, get those notifications. If you really want to support us, swing on over to Angrysnowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there. And we're going to try to do more podcasting for 2020, so hopefully we won't be back in like 4 weeks, maybe a little bit sooner before then.
Yeah.